which paper combination is best to go with as far as ACCA exams are concerned. Now, while I've done quite a few videos around which papers to sit before as well, but I thought I'll do just another one to make sure that students are able to make best decision around which papers to pursue together. But before we start to talk about that, like always, thank you so much for all your love, support, comments, and feedback. I truly appreciate it. If this is the first time you've come to my channel, I would request you to please hit the like, subscribe, and the bell icon. I promise you I will only make videos that are good for your ACCA journey as well as your overall finance and accounting journey. Now back to which is the best ACCA paper combination. Now, a quick disclaimer. For anyone who wants to study and become an ACCA, it doesn't matter whether you do one paper, you do two papers, you do tax with audit, you do audit with FR, you do skill with a P, it doesn't matter, right? Because if you are absolutely hell-bent in becoming an ACCA, I assure you, even 3 papers are doable, and I did that when I was a student, right? My last sitting for ACCA exams, I sat for 3 papers and I was lucky to clear them, right? So, I don't want anyone who's watching this to now take this that, no, we have to sit for 2 papers together. It doesn't work like that. In fact, I'm a very strong proponent of students sitting only 1 paper at a time, right? Because I feel that's the best thing about ACCA is the flexibility of 1 paper, right? So don't give up on that 1 paper flexibility. Do 1 paper at a time. In no time, you will be able to become an ACCA. But I understand there are students who want to sit for more than 1 paper at a time. So let's say, knowledge level, because I know a lot of students will anyways take an exemption. Now it has become the thing. So I'm not going to get into too much of a discussion over there. And plus, because it's an on-demand exam, I think then you also have an opportunity that sit 1 paper. So let's say if you want to do BT paper, right? And you were thinking, why not do it with MA, or you want to do MA with FA, right? It doesn't make sense. Sit the MA paper, quickly finish the MA, give the exam and move to the next one, right? Because it's on-demand exam, you don't have to really wait. But I understand that skills, you need to prepare for 3 months in advance, right? So therefore, what I would suggest is that anyone who's sitting skill level exams, if you have to really pick a combo, I would suggest audit and FR are a very good combo. The reason is very simple. One is slightly more practical, the other one is slightly more theory. So you can study the FR paper, which is, have to do a lot of solving at the time where you are, usually very drowsy, tired, right? Because when you are doing practical problem, irrespective whether you're tired or not, you will still be able to solve the question. But let's say if you are someone who's a morning person, right, and your brain works the most at that time, pick up a boring subject like audit at that time. Why? I must tell you, audit is my favorite, but I understand audit becomes, too much theory, like, quite dry as well, right? So pick up the audit paper at that time so that your brain is fresh. You don't doze off while studying some of those audit risks, procedures, etc., right? So you can do audit and FR together, right? So because that's the ideal combo of practical as well as theory. The other thing is that whatever you study as far as standards are concerned in FR, there will be some benefit on the auditing side as well, right? So therefore, somewhere or the other, that syllabus, crossover is also there. So it does give you some benefit as far as audit paper is concerned, right? So that is audit and FR. Similarly, if you want to do FM and PM, right? Because again, PM is more and more becoming a theory-based paper. A lot of theory gets examined, right? While FM continues to be a lot more practical, right? So again, for the same reasons, do the PM paper when you are super fresh and you can go through the theory parts, and do the FM when you're slightly tired but you still have to work on the Excel and do that number crunching, and you have to make your NPV tables, etc., right? So I would suggest these combos, like I said, for the plain reason, theory and practical. And again, in PM and FM, there is budgeting, etc. There is a slight crossover between the syllabus between PM and FM as well. Unfortunately, with the tax, there is not awful lot. So, maybe you can do tax on its own, because anyways, it's a fairly long syllabus. Coming to the P level, I would suggest same If you are doing APM, you can do AFM together with it. If you are doing AAA, maybe do SBR with it, right? SBL, you can do it on its own. Otherwise, SBL is a paper which can be plugged in any of the paper, right? Because while the books are massive, but it's a fairly straightforward if you understand the theory part, which is the models, right? If you know what the models are, I believe SBL is one of the most doable papers when it comes to ACCA, right? So just for the same reasons in skill level, do SBR and AAA together, and you can do APM, AFM together if those are the combinations that you are looking to do in the optional paper, right? And now the pro tip, which I don't think I have discussed previously, is that let's say if you are in knowledge level and you study MA as your last paper, okay? Because I understand that people have cycles to follow. At FPA, we have a cycle, there's a BT paper first, and then there's an MA paper, and then there's a FA paper. So let's say, your last paper was FA in knowledge level. How about trying to pursue FR after that? Because whatever you study in an FA will definitely impact your FR as well. There will be some bits like standards that you study in FA will also be there in FR. So it gives you a bit of a a run up already, right? You're already warmed up. You already know exactly what's gonna come in the or at least some of the bits that are gonna come in the exam. So I would suggest if you've done MA as the last paper in knowledge level, pick up PM next after that. If you've done FA, do FR. Similarly, if you've done FR, do SBR. If you've done AA, do AAA, right? This is how you should ideally plan your ACCA journey. But again, I understand while you may do all the planning possible in the world, but the results will change from time to time. So I will go back to the disclaimer that do one paper, do two paper, do three paper. As long as you have the conviction of completing the ACC, you will do it, right? So do not get too bogged down that I have to do papers, right? You don't have to do two papers. You can do one paper as well. But yes, these combos should really help you quicken your ACCA journey, right? So I hope you find this video helpful. If you have, why not share it with your ACCA friends? And do let me in comments if there is anything else that you would like to know more. I've been teaching ACCA for over 10 years, and I do feel I can maybe share a tip or two if you would like to know, right? So do share your questions in comments, and thank you so much and all the very best. Bye-bye.